I'm Moira Dorey and I'm talking today to Kelly Merry about being environmentally conscious landlords. Hi Kelly.
Hi.
So what are you doing in your business at the moment to encourage green practices?
In our welcome packs, what we do is we use jute bags with our logos on them, and we put in water bottles to try and encourage our tenants to use them instead of buying water bottles out. We put in bamboo travel mugs, bamboo toothbrushes, Who Gives a Crap toilet paper, and some seeds as well.
That's a lovely idea, yeah. So I was talking to some other FPs at lunchtime today, and they were saying that we were all agreeing that there's a kind of assumption that by the time they're in their early 20s, they know what they're doing. But actually, a lot of these tenants are coming straight out of university, and they don't have any idea about how to be environmentally friendly, really. I was talking about teaching them how to turn down thermostatic radiator valves and how to open ventilation. And actually, I think we all suffer a little bit from trying to get them to recycle. So what you're doing is a bit of an extension of that, saying, and why don't you think about the materials you use a bit more?
Absolutely, yes.
Using bamboo and don't give a crap, that sort of thing. Now, also I think you're doing something with bikes, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. So just to go back over what you said, I feel that the demographics of people that come into a house want to be more environmentally friendly, but perhaps wouldn't know how to. And I feel that as landlords, we can totally encourage them to do, to do some small steps to be more eco-friendly, and for them to try and embrace it as well. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the bikes, what we did was we got 3 bikes and we serviced them, so made sure they were good to use, and popped them into a little shed. And then when we had potential tenants coming round, we would show them the bike and say to them, look, you can use these bikes whenever you want to, and we just said, we're not going to make you do anything, but as KelsyLiving, our ethos is just to be a bit more environmentally friendly. So if you would like to take the bikes and use them instead of using your car to go to work, even if it's just once a week or once a fortnight, it's fantastic. And I think putting those bikes in has probably been the most positive thing that we've done that's been eco-friendly. And the reason I say that is because the potential tenants that we showed round, it was something that they remembered us for. And the tenants that we now have, our housemates that we have now, love them. So they always tell us, oh yeah, I used the bike last week to go to work instead of using my car, or I went for a bike ride on Sunday. And so that's really good. So I think the bikes have been a massive positive impact on it.
And many of us actually have put bike racks in, and even bike sheds, but haven't gone to the point of putting the bikes in. So
one of the small things that we talked about a couple of weeks ago was the water saving kit that you can get from Water Trent. So it was the timer. Do you remember we were talking about the timer?
Right, yes.
So you've got like this little shower timer. And I remember you saying, oh, how do you find your tenants get on with that? And I thought, well, actually, I wouldn't know if they use it or not. However, even if they only choose to use it 50% of the time, and it's only 50% of the tenants in that house that will use it, it's still, there is still a number of people using it.
And that's less about water saving and more about, not water saving to reduce your bills, but more about water saving for the environment.
For the environment, yes. And it's just that kind of little reminder for them as well that, you should be a bit more mindful and, what are the small little things that they can do to save the planet, I suppose, really.
Our tenants often comment on the fact that we come and go by electric vehicle. We have an electric car.
That's fantastic.
And we don't have any charging points yet for our tenants, but I'm very open to that idea, actually, because we've had a charger put on the side of our personal home. But Richard and I both love the electric vehicle. It's a really smooth ride, and it's so cost effective once you've actually release the vehicle. So it's not so expensive.
And was it expensive to put the charger point in at your home?
That was included in the lease price.
Oh, was
so
it?
it didn't cost anything.
Oh, okay. So how would that work in terms of a HMO then? Because that's something I would love to do.
Yeah, if you're putting it on an HMO, then there's a £1,500 grant, I think, at the moment to support putting a charging point on the side of your house. So it would cost a bit, but not a huge amount.
Yeah.
But you need to know whether you're going to have someone that's going to use it, of course, before you do that.
Yeah.
I think using gardens is a great idea, actually.
Yeah.
And I think we should maybe shout more about how we're looking after the gardens. So we're aware in our own home gardens about leaving bushes for butterflies and feeding the birds and things like that.
And some
But we
lavender
that's right, and we don't necessarily do it for the tenants, or if we do, we don't shout about it. And I think it'd be a nice thing to advertise to tenants.
Absolutely.
We cut the grass for you, we give you an area, a patio area, but we do leave some of the things around. And we've got a couple of apple trees. I can't believe how often we have to say to the tenants, pick the apples, eat the apples. That's where apples come from.
Yes, not from plastic in
and
the
rhubarb,
supermarket.
cannot get them to eat the rhubarb.
I mean, absolutely. And we've used some seeds in our welcoming packs, but also, we're just trying to encourage some stuff that will grow easily, so it's low maintenance for the tenants. But also, a friend of ours, he's a bit of a keen gardener, and he said things like, just get some potatoes and chuck them in some dirt, and they'll start growing. And then if the tenants don't pick them, they'll just rot back into the ground, and
no loss.
No loss, and it doesn't cost much at all. However, if the tenants do use it, it's fantastic. So one of our tenants in the first HMO we've got, his name's Marco, and he's a real keen cook. And so that sparked conversations in terms of, growing herbs, growing fresh fruit, and growing fresh veg as well. And he started talking about his love of cooking, which then went on to about how amazing he is at making paella. And then some of the other housemates were saying, oh, okay, so if you're that good, maybe you could show us how to make some. And from that conversation of having fresh fruit or veg in your garden, they now have paella night, and he's taught one of the other housemates how to make paella, and they have like fajita nights as well. So it's that sense of community as well. So on the back of trying to be a bit more sustainable, you've created a sense of community and conversation, and the housemates are finding out about each other a bit more. And so, I mean, it's great. And it's that kind of well-being, isn't it? Because you're creating that sense of community. You're reaping what you sow. You're living the good life almost, in a small doses. You're eating fresh, you're eating healthier. But also, when you talk to people and things, then it just makes you feel better, doesn't it? And watching something grow and taking care of something, having a sense of responsibility for something is fantastic for your well-being.
And I think there's a number of things we do in our business. We super insulate our houses in our particular group, and we are lucky enough to be able to plant trees. We plant a tree for every tenant that comes in, and we don't shout about that enough. Someone was saying to me, is it on your Instagram? Have you taken pictures of your trees on your Instagram? I went, no, I haven't. No. How do you promote your brand then as an eco-brand?
Well,
on Spare Room, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, I think since joining PPP and building my brand, I've understood how social media works a lot better. So Instagram, for instance, with the hashtags and things, it's fantastic, because what we've done at Kelsey is when we're promoting something like growing some salad leaves or something, that enables us to show our ethos and our values to any customers, any prospective tenants. And so what I do is just take a photo of something, and then a quick kind of tagline, and then you just hashtag things like sustainability or eco-living, and then
so it gets picked up, hopefully, by your tenants and prospective tenants.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can portray your ethos and your values then, can't you?